Didn't I tell you all it was time for some hands-on candy time? I told y'all. I told y'all. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Kandi and the Gang. This is season 1, episode 6. This one, you know what, this was probably my least favorite episode, but this was like the episode that I knew was coming. I knew that with all the stuff happening with Patrick and Safari, there was going to be some Kandi time. I knew that with Chandrika running around sleuthing, that there was going to end up being, I thought it would be Kandi time, but it ended up being more Dawn Juan time, which is just like Kandi time a little bit. But yeah, pretty much. So it was just clearing up the loose ends. They were taking the loose ends and pulling them together. Like, you know, y'all been running around just doing what you want to do, and this is the end of that. Okay? So first things first, you never know what's going to happen down to the OLG. You just never know. It's like there's, like, I don't know, always something going to happen. They opened up, the OLG was actually there that day, and Aunt Nora, I got a big old hearty chuckle in my belly at Aunt Nora's face when the Detroit grannies rolled through, baby, with their padded butts and bras, and got the twerker to carrying on. Aunt Nora's face was hilarious. She was like, what is really going on here? Mama Joyce was here for it. You know, Mama Joyce be with the shits. Mama Joyce was here for it. She was cracking up. She was giving them, come on, bounce it, bounce it. I said, okay. But Aunt Nora was like, whoa, wait a minute. What just took place? Funny as heck. Funny as heck. Let's go ahead and move on into our stuff. Torrin and Chandrika have a little sit down. And it just, came in, she said she gonna take a break. He's like, well, wait a minute. You can't leave your post empty. She was, no, Chandrika, didn't you just get reprimanded? You've been being reprimanded like constantly, and you still just run around doing whatever you want to do. She left that post empty. Then they're filming, literally filming somebody come in to be seated, and nobody will see them. Just doing what you want to do. I said, shout. But ain't you the one that be fussing the most about folks just do what they want to do down to the OLG? And what are you doing? Whatever happened to be the change that you want to see? Get your butt back in there. And you and Torrin could have actually stood there. Torrin could have stood at the hosting post with you, really, and talked. Especially the fact that y'all wasn't really talking about nothing. You still sleuthing, trying to figure out who said what. You interrogating all the workers. Then you breaking it down to, well, she don't like me and she don't like me. You know, when you can actually go through your workplace and pinpoint out who don't like you and this, that, thing, and the other, that means that you got a little bit too much going on, babe. That's what that means. There shouldn't be that many people at a job that have that much to say about you. Like, seriously, that means you doing too much. Anyway, moving on. Kandi goes to visit Patrick and Melvin, and I knew this was coming. She goes into the apartment, she's walking around, you know, they're showing her the apartment and everything like that, and she's just listening to Patrick, and every other word is just like they told her. Safari, 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 Safari. Everything is Safari. So she addressed it. You know, she was real tactful, told me, are we losing you in this whole Safari thing? What's really going on? He just said he ate her spaghetti, and Melvin said, oh, no, you didn't tell me that. And he's like, what that mean? Everybody know what that mean, Patrick. You don't eat the spaghetti, child. You don't eat the spaghetti. It can turn out all bad for you. I got a good laugh at that, too. But anyway, she told him, you know, basically, there's going to be a housewarming. Yeah, I mean, stand up, poke your chest out. You need to have a housewarming. So even though Safari has pretty much control over them, sorry, Safari, I knew it, girl. You don't have no Kandi power. You got some canny power, but you ain't got no Kandi power. You know Kandi with the K? Baby, Kandi said there's going to be a housewarming. There's going to be a housewarming, sis. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Anyway, so that was that. And yeah, she told him, you need to have your housewarming, and she needs to be supporting you in it. Period. And he let her know the next time he got together with her that you know, yeah, we need to be having a housewarming. We need to be having a housewarming. You need to be supporting me. And she's like, okay. And then she showed, oh my God, this was horrible. She showed, Safari showed some of her little, you remember how they fired Torin? He had the nerve to sit on there and say, I'm glad I got rid of Torin. Safari know just what to do. If you don't stop your playing, Patrick. She took this old rug and pushed it on up to the side of the wall, then folded it and put a bean bag over there and caddy corner up in the corner. That was very much a 19-year-old's first apartment look. I said, really? So you're going to be sitting in a corner, resting in a corner right around from some step. That was a mess. That was a mess. And how dare you use Torin's name in vain like that? That was horrible. I was like, Safari clowning. She clowning you. But anyway, moving on. She got you set up to where ain't no other girl even gonna take you serious. So she ain't got nothing to worry about. No other girl would even take you serious. If you tried to take somebody in that apartment to do a little something with them, they ain't going down them steps. When they see that bean bag pushed up in the corner, if the girl is of any type of worth, she ain't going no further than the bean bag in the corner, I promise you. Anyway, Safari know what she doing. Moving on. So there's another staff meeting with Kandi, Todd, and Dawn Juan. And then the OLG showed up. Todd got talking about the whole, was brought up as the Brandon and Dominique situation. And Dawn Juan has, I said, told y'all we had some Dawn time. Dawn had the stuff like, this is the issue. This is the issue. This is what was caught on the camera. They back there kissing in the office and all this stuff. And also Pebbles, this girl named Pebbles. Pebbles had come to Dawn Juan to talk about Brian and his sobriety. And it seems as though Brian been doing a little bit of drinking. So Dawn got all these things going on. Todd is like, listen, don't do as I do. Don't do as I do. Candy's like, I mean, really, what can we really say, Todd? Like, seriously, we met at the job and look at us. And he's like, right, don't do as I do as I say. That's part of our bylaws. It is what it is. He need to fix it. He needs to fix it, or Todd don't give a damn. They could all go. And you know that. You know what his stance is. OLG came in. The OLG came in there. And the challenge has been taken. Todd is going to do the kitchen. And he said, I'll go in, but I want like everybody to go in. Like all the upper management to come on in with me. So they like, fine. And Aunt Bertha, we want you to be the manager. She said, oh, I get to be the manager? Okay, you don't want me as the manager. They're like, yeah, we do, Aunt Bertha. I was like, oh, no, you don't. And I'm laughing. Kandi laughing. Kandi said, old Melvin is going to get a kick out of this. So that was all set up. Next thing we see is Dawn Juan sit down with Brian. And they have the conversation. And Brian's like, yes, I've been drinking wine. But that's like such a scale down from where I was. Brian, no. Baby, when you were that far in it, like you were in it, you just let it go. Just let it go for now, anyway. Just let it go. But anyway, he hadn't even told Dawn Juan about his sister and her transition and all of this stuff. So Dawn Juan was like, listen, I'm coming to you as a friend. It's not that I'm trying to be in your business. I want the best for you, period. And that's all to it. And he was saying, all the AA meetings and all of that kind of stuff and the NA that didn't work for me. I went to Jesus. That's what actually worked for me. Nobody's disputing that at all. And he says, I do the wine. It's definitely a scale down from where I was and what I was doing. That Don Juan told him, okay, he said, but I'm not Jesus. I ain't Jesus. He said, surely you're not. Surely you're not. You're definitely not Jesus, because he definitely wouldn't do that wig. And Brian's like, yes, he would. Said, Don Juan, you ain't shit. Said, yes, he would. He love old nasty piece of extension. No, Jesus wouldn't do that wig, Brian. I said, y'all gonna leave Brian alone, honey, with his old wig piece, honey. Funny, but point, you got the point. You got the point. Next thing. Chandrika, she's still going around. Now she gonna sit down and talk with Richard, because she done went through all the people. She think maybe it was Richard. Here she goes sleuthing again. Then they, and she had this, that red wig looks really pretty on Chandrika. The cut, the length, the color, all of that looks really, really good on her. I like it much better than the wet and wavy, which is cool too. She's a cute girl. But that red, she looks more mature, and it just is very pretty on her. Very pretty. So that was that. She's picking Richard. Richard ain't going for it. He like, whatever. And the truth is, we all know you are the culprit, honey. But anyway, after a while, everybody done got tired of her being Inspector Gadget. Dawn Juan comes and snatch Chandrika up, take her out for a little talk, and basically tells her, what if I told you that you told on you? And I pointed it out to Todd and Kandi, that you told on you. She's like, huh? He plays the message in his phone, plays it in his phone. And she's like, oh, well, I mean, I did say that, but then she's trying to backpedal. He's like, no, Chandrika, stop. I just played it for you. You just admitted that you said these things. Now you're trying to backpedal. You got to stand in your stuff. Stand in your stuff, knock it off, and go on and be the change that you want to see. And I thought it was really nice because Chandrika, like, you could have got fired a couple days ago when this first started. And then when Dawn Juan pulled you to the side, Dawn Juan could have let you go because you're just being ridiculous. He could have just let you go. Like, you didn't even leave it at that table. You done really dragged it on. You really dragged it on. I think this was all done for the show, but I mean, it's cool. But in an actual workspace, you don't go out and basically explain the whole situation when you have a double date. I told you I'll call it a double date. When you're reprimanded, that was said in that room is supposed to stay in that room. You're not really supposed to be out here sharing it with the other employees. And again, bringing down the morale. You're still walking around doing the exact thing that you've been reprimanded for. You're bringing down the morale with your bull crap. Knock it off. And that's what he was telling her. Okay. So, Joyce made a point. Mama Joyce said, if it not been for Kandi, Todd would fire Melvin out of the kitchen, and says that he won't touch Melvin because he knows that Kandi will have a bitch fit. Child, and then Aunt Bertha come through and gonna say, yeah, and then Melvin will whoop that ass. I said, oh God. We don't need Melvin to beat up Todd, child. I was like, Lord have mercy. I actually thought that, I don't know, I really thought that the stuff with the family was all sorted out as pertains to Todd. Maybe it's not. But okay, I guess. Anyway, they went on, they did the kitchen, and it was an eye-opening experience for Todd to see, and Kandi, to see what you really didn't know. Kandi never fussed. Kandi knows she don't really know the day-to-day. and she don't do what it is they do back there. She has a respect for him, but Todd didn't. And I think it was a real eye-opening experience for him being back in that kitchen as to how difficult it actually is. So he should be cool from there. You know, Todd, lighten up a bit. Lighten up a bit. It is a lot. It's a lot that's going back there. They were seeing dishes that was being sent back. Oh, this is cool. You know, people are real finicky. Food is hard. Food is really, really hard. It really is a hard business. It's hard because people are just so funny about food. They really are. Anyway, moving on. Joyce and Kandi take a trip down to see old Miss Safari. And Mama Joyce ended up getting that non-surgical butt lift. I was like, we don't even need any of that stuff. Mama Joyce looked good. She really do. Kandi just kind of went down and made her presence known and made her feelings known about what's going on with her and Patrick and let her know what she said. Patrick's talking about having kids. And Kandi was like, no, ma'am. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And Safari's like, no, I'm not trying to change him or anything. I just demand respect. Kandi's like, yeah, okay, whatever. You got the message, though. You knew. It was another double date, actually. It was the Joyce and Kandi connection. It was a double date with Safari. But they went down there and gave her the eye. Honey, back off, ma'am. Back off. Slow down. I said, okay. Told you I was going to be some Kandi time. Anyway, moving on. Last thing. Dawn, Philip, and Brandon. They have a double date. Now, Brandon, you're on the block. And they basically gave him the whole thing with Chandrika. Either you fix it or we will. Now it's up to you. Either you fix it or we'll fix it. Because he was really talking like kind of goofy, like, well, I don't know. And, it ain't really a problem. Yeah, it is a problem. Do you see where you're at? Do you see what's going on? It's a problem. Either you fix it or we will. Brandon ends up going down to Dom's rehearsal, pulls her outside, and they basically talk. He really ain't said nothing. This is what the problem is with you, Brandon. This is where they are actually saying that is a problem with you. I don't think you actually get that they really got a problem with you. I don't think you get it. I really don't. But Dom knows that one of y'all got to go. And she's asking him like, so you want me to go so you can stay? And he's like, well, I mean, it's not like you need it because you got all of this. It's like, boy, I ain't giving up my job for you. I mean, we just start actually calling ourselves dating. It's really weird. Really weird. She's like, I'm not going to Blaze. Blaze is too far. Brandon basically feels like he's the one that needs to stay and she just kind of need to go. And I'm sure he makes more money than she does and gets more hours. He has more to lose than she does, but why should she lose anything and then mess around? And who knows if the relationship's even going to work? And they still talk about, we know how to conduct ourselves. She's like, it's not us, it's the other people. Child, y'all know what needs to be done. Y'all either do it or don't do it. Either y'all gonna break up or she gonna quit. That's all. There ain't really no ifs, ands, and no buts about it. They haven't said anything, but that's really it. Didn't I tell y'all I wasn't going to keep on talking about them two? Them two, that storyline has ran its course, period. Anyway, like I said, this has been season 1, episode 6 of Kandi and the Gang. Let's move on to something else, Kandi. Come on, y'all. Let's move on. This is cool. I love this show, but this has been my least favorite. This one was kind of like a filler episode. A little bit. It feels like a filler episode. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all next week. Later.